everybody, it's Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. Welcome to the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast, where we're happy to survive cutdown day. It's me, your man, MG Marcus Grant, joined by Michael F. Florio and Laquan Jones. Welcome to Wednesday. I never know what to say to like welcome to Wednesday show, because it's not Thursday, it's not Monday, it's just Wednesday.
It's Friday Junior. Has to be the thing we do all season.
Welcome to Wednesday. Welcome to Wednesday, everybody. During the season, you will have gotten your waiver wire claims, hopefully. You're still a day away from having to set any lineups.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday, man. Yeah. It's Wednesday.
I said Friday Junior, but I think that would be too many juniors.
That would be Friday the 3rd.
That's like that. Yeah, exactly. That's a little too much. I think
Friday the 3rd doesn't have the ring to it.
That doesn't quite work. So it's just Wednesday, man. Welcome to Wednesday. We got some stuff to dive into today. We're going to wait. We're going to do tomorrow's show will be our bold predictions for the season, maybe even throw in some hot takes just because. So today, I figured we do our ride or die guys, right? The guys that we are drafting per each position, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, the guys that we feel like we have to come out of drafts with in this one. I'm also in the process of doing a draft right now. It is the CBS Sports Telethon draft for charity for St. Jude, benefiting St. Jude. Maybe I'll get into it at some point. I will tell you that I felt great with my first 6 or 7 picks, and the last few picks have kind of gone sideways. So we'll see how this ends up when it's all said.
I'll be on there tonight, 6:20. You can catch me on there in the Draftathon over there at CBS.
Let's go.
Awesome. Yeah. So be sure to check out Laquan this evening on the Draftathon. Always a lot of great people involved in that. Shout out to the guys over at CBS, Jamie and Dave and Heath, and all the folks over there at CBS too, who do a great job. Let's get into some news, and starting with a lot of things that just sort of happened. Yesterday, as I was putting this rundown together, it was sort of light on news. There wasn't much of anything, and I was kind of stretching for things, and I was like, hey, we can talk about Russell Wilson because Darius Slayton says he's disgustingly consistent, blah, blah, blah. Thankfully, things happened on Wednesday morning, so we have actual news.
There had to be a better adjective Slayton could have used
than disgustingly.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I got where he was going with it. Disgustingly consistent. Okay.
I like using filthy. I mean, I get it.
Right. Exactly.
Filthy good.
So, filthy good. I get it. So anyway, we do have actual news. Starting with the biggest news, which sort of puts a big piece in the puzzle, and that is Rashee Rice is going to serve a 6-game suspension to start the 2025 season. I know last week on this show, we talked about the report that maybe he wouldn't even get his hearing until late September. And then when would the discipline come and how long would it be? So now we've kind of put everything together. We know how long it is, 6 games. We know when it starts at the beginning of the season. So with all this information, Florio, where are you comfortable taking Rashee Rice if you have a draft coming up in the next week or so?
I think the 6th round feels like a sweet spot for him because when Rashee Rice is out there, I still think he brings wide receiver 1 upside. We saw what he was doing last year. We saw what he did in the preseason and the limited snaps that he got to play there. And I think this is best case scenario because if you were going in blind, not knowing when he was going to get suspended, not knowing how long it was going to be, would it carry over to the fantasy playoffs? To me, I was out on him in that range because it's just too big of a risk. We don't know. But now we know 6 games, first 4 weeks, there's no buys. So you have everyone else on your lineup ready for you to plug in. So I'm in on Rashee Rice. The only thing I'll say is I don't think you can take Rice and Ayuk or Rice and Addison. I think you need to pick one of those guys and go with them. And Rice to me is the clear top of those guys who are going to miss on time.
Yeah. I mean, Laquan, you cool round 6. I know you were actually scheming to how to draft Rashee Rice even without knowing what the discipline was going to be. But now that you have some clarity, I'm assuming your plans are rounding into shape more.
Oh, yeah. Buy the dip, baby. Look, I have him as my wide receiver 3 in one of the leagues that I'm going to pay a lot of attention to. And I think that is the perfect place to even target him. And there's some leagues where you guys are just scared to take him because, it's going to happen in the middle of the season. No, we got 6 games. He's coming back against the Raiders. And I know the bye week is 2 weeks after that, which is fine. This guy was coming off of a torn ACL. I think folks forget, we still were gambling with him coming back from this injury where we haven't seen him at full game speed yet. So now that we get the clarity of all right, he's going to be gone for 6 weeks. He is going to be full health, ready to go. And if my team is ringing off how I believe it's going to be with him coming as my wide receiver 3 or my flex in some of these leagues where I feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to dominate at the wide receiver position when it comes to the fantasy playoffs. And look, Patrick Mahomes, he showed us like, hey, this may be the year he might have to remind some folks of who he is, because in the preseason, he was playing like it was already midseason form. So I do think that with the upgraded O-line, and then you're going to have Patrick Mahomes locked in on Rashid Rice once he comes back, it's going to be a heavy target share for folks that are able to buy the dip on.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, because I've been in on the idea of Patrick Mahomes having a bounce back year this year, and so, I mean, some of it is, look, this draft I'm in, I literally just took Marquise Brown in like the, was it 11th round, 12th round, something like that. Actually,
I'm glad you said
round.
Marquise Brown. I'm glad you said Marquise Brown. He has to earn that Hollywood Brown name because we haven't seen Hollywood in years.
We haven't seen Hollywood in a few years. Yeah, it's been like it's to the point now that I'm looking up suburbs of Hollywood, Florida, right? Because like I think we've worn out all the Burbank, Glendale, Brown jokes.
He is literally giving us the actual current state of Hollywood right now out here in LA. That if you know, you know.
Okay. Since we're on that, right? Hollywood in Los Angeles, first off, if you come to LA and you've never been to LA, just understand Hollywood, the district, the neighborhood of Hollywood is not particularly glamorous. Hollywood is like a dive bar, right? When you're at Hollywood, when you're in Hollywood at night, there's lights and there's music and there's people and you're like, this place is fun. Like, this is a really cool place to hang out. And then you see Hollywood with the lights on and you're like, oh, this is where I was?
It's LA's Times Square. And as a New York native, I never wanted to go to Times Square. As someone who lives in LA now, I never want to go to Hollywood.
I mean, if I have friends who are like, hey, I'm in Hollywood.
Dead.
Yeah, no, if I have friends come down like, hey, we're in Hollywood, you want to come hang out? I'm like, no.
I'll see you tomorrow.
You can come this way. It's
you make it home.
It's hard to get to. Parking sucks. And once you've done it a couple times, like you don't need to do it again.
Oh, cool. Another name on the ground. Oh, cool. Another name on the ground.
Exactly.
Like, it gets very repetitive very quick.
Exactly. So anyway, Marquise Brown.
I'm in on Brown, by the way. I'm in on Worthy. I'm on all of the Chiefs receivers for exactly the reasons you were saying about Mahomes.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're going to be more vertical this year. I think they're going to attack downfield. And I think that, there's going to be less of an emphasis on Mr. Swift in the middle of the field. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Travis.
Mr. Swift is crazy.
Congratulations to Travis and Taylor.
Killer Trav out here. That was my favorite part, that it said Taylor Swift and Killer Trav. Like, it did not go together at all, but what do I know?
I think it's going to be a different offense this year for the Chiefs. I think it's going to look more like the offenses we saw when we first started drafting Patrick Mahomes really highly at the quarterback position.
Might be pretty good at football.
I think he's okay. I think he's decent. He might have a future in this league. Wide receiver news. The Panthers have traded Adam Thielen back home. Who says you can't go home again? Adam Thielen's going back to the Minnesota Vikings. We had a chance to talk to both Adam Thielen and Xavier Legette during the offseason. You can go back through our YouTube channel. You can find those. I know you reposted, Florio, the Thielen interview earlier on Wednesday, so you can go to Mike's Twitter feed and find that there. But Laquan, no more Adam Thielen in Carolina. What does this mean to you for the rest of the wide receivers there?
I'm in on Jalen Coker. Like, I've seen enough from him, these last, couple of times that we've seen the flashes come from last season and then obviously in the preseason. Like, he could be a deep threat, for Bryce Young. And obviously you have Tetairoa McMillan there, Xavier Legette, friend of the show. I do feel like, Jalen Coker right now is the under radar, wide receiver. If I have deeper leagues, deeper benches, if I have like 7 or less benches, obviously you're not going to be drafting him. But I do think like him acting as possibly the wide receiver 2 or the second target option in this offense, where it'll play a huge role, later in the season if he blossoms into this role. And I can honestly see him having like 70 catches. Why is that out of the question here? With Bryce Young taking this step forward in this Panthers offense. So he seems to be the biggest winner here with Adam Thielen, going back home. You love going back home stories, but I do think that, Jatavian Sanders, he's comes an interesting, watch list type of tight end, guy. And obviously Tetairoa McMillan is going to be to the moon, where he's being drafted as your wide receiver 2 or 3, where I think the target share is obviously going to be there for him, but he may level to, expectations beyond our beliefs.
I get nervous about Tet McMillan as a wide receiver too. Like, I guess I see the vision. I understand the potential. Florio, I'm just not emotionally ready to make that move just yet.
I get it, and he is exactly like you. I see all the good and stuff. I will say I was a little lower on him as a prospect than others, but the main reason I don't have a lot of McMillan is because I'm either taking running backs in that range or I'm taking Travis Hunter. Like, if I'm taking a rookie wide receiver in that range because they basically are back-to-back in ADP, I'm going Travis Hunter over him 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just kind of where I am. Like, I totally understand the hype. I do. I'm just not fully ready to do that yet.
I think this dings TJ Hawkinson a little bit because I was like, Hawkinson is going to be that safety blanket that gets all of and that's the role that
yeah,
I'm
you
feeling
guys
to
sold
play.
me on that. I am cashing in my ticket now. I don't want any more.
We didn't know
Hawkinson.
if he was going to get
Yeah.
traded back to Minnesota.
In May, I'm supposed to be like, whoa.
I mean, I'm just acting like the fantasy streets. I'm just acting like the fantasy streets right now. I mean, they're all going to be in our DMs about this crap, so whatever.
The fantasy streets
Things change.
Fantasy streets are fickle, man. Like,
Bro, we saw a Hall of Fame tweet yesterday that I sent in the group chat, so yeah, best believe I know that.
Hey, man, deciding you're going to make a wager based on the wide receiver 86, man. You're like, you do you. Couldn't be me, but you do you. Other transactions that have happened in the last 24 hours or so. Isaiah Likely reportedly expected to return in the early part of 2025. I like his name, but it makes it hard to write sentences because you can't be like likely back. Like you have to say,
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you can.
I mean, yes, you can. It just, it just looks weird.
Expected gets a lot of run next
He's
to
going
his
to get a
name.
lot of run, right? Next to Isaiah Likely's name. Isaiah Likely expected to return early part of 2025. The 49ers, who are one more injury away from signing need to play wide receiver, have signed Marquez Valdez-Scantling. The Lions have traded Tim Patrick to the Jaguars. And speaking of going home, Amari Cooper is coming back to the Raiders on a 1-year deal. Any of those do anything for you, Florio?
The one that does the most is Amari Cooper. I think we've reached the point where Amari Cooper is more of a contributor than he is like an alpha wide receiver one, but he is still an outside wide receiver. So Deontay Thornton, who was getting a lot of hype, now gets more competition there. I don't really see myself drafting Cooper, but I think that is the impact that it has. I did see something that's pretty cool, though. Like, Cooper's back on the Raiders. Keenan's back on the Chargers. Brandon Cooks is back on the Saints. Like, everything just goes full circle in the NFL.
Time is a flat
We're back,
circle.
baby.
Time is a flat circle. Rust Cole said it right all those years ago on True Detective. I mean, any of those do anything for you? I mean, the Isaiah Likely one's kind of interesting, Laquan, because I've been of the opinion that Mark Andrews has a bounce back season, in part because Likely is a little bit banged up. How are you feeling about Likely and Andrews, and I guess the entirety of the pass catching group there in Baltimore?
Well, both of them are both on contract years, so one of them had to shake out. I haven't drafted much of Likely in the last month after he picked up that injury, but like a couple best ball leagues I got him in. So my expectations for him, honestly, is like a tight end too, because it's still Mark Andrews' show. He still has the strongest, connection with Lamar Jackson. So my expectations are like, I can't see myself starting him unless I see Mark Andrews has injuries or banged up or a slow start, et cetera, et cetera. So Likely, not likely to be a starter for me.
I see what you did there. Yeah, so I don't know. Those are some of the news headlines. We'll see other things that happen. Obviously, there have been cut downs. Guys will get picked up. There may be another trade or two. Who knows before we get to the start of the season? But those were the moves. Recently.
MVS wide receiver 2, Marcus.
I mean, look, at this moment, he probably is, because who else do they have there? I mean, I'm just gonna be honest, right? They're short-handed wide receiver, so MVS really might be their
Love
wide
to
receiver
see
for the
it.
time being. You're really
Is
Crumble.
Juwan Jennings like I'm getting real nervous with him.
I mean, the last reports I saw were that they expect him to be available for week 1.
I need him to be available for week 1.
That's the latest report there.
I hope he's
It
not.
seems like whatever contract issues, I think they sort of put that sort of thing behind them. So it's just mostly about him getting healthy.
All early August, I was like, I'm not worried about it now. I'm taking the discount, and now week 1 lineups got to be set, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you still got another. still got another week, for things to
fingers
happen.
crossed.
It's a good time to be a 49ers fan, man. I just love it.
Why are you
guys are
you
gonna
don't have a
suck
crippled
so
back
bad.
quarterback?
Whoa now. He's good. He's upright. He's chilling. He's practicing.
you're so invested in this. It's so funny how you're so
I am.
emotional about this in week 1.
I love it. I'd love to see you guys crumble, man, before the season starts. It's fine. It just
When do you guys
it's
play
so
each other?
satisfying.
What are you
Week
so-
5, I believe.
Week 5, October 2nd. Ooh, that's gonna be a
Hold
fun
up.
week here.
Hold up.
I might not even show up. I might just let you two go at it for the whole pod.
I mean,
Yeah, right. You know you're
the
showing
funny
up,
part
bro. You're
about
gonna
this is
stir
that
the
he's
pot.
way more emotionally invested in it
Yes.
than I am.
Yeah.
Like, that's the fun part.
I
is
love
that-
beating the dead horse. It doesn't matter, MG.
By the way,
Let's roll.
I was thinking about this the other day because Laquan comes to us like at least a couple times a month and is like, yeah, I spent the weekend fighting with 49er fans in my mentions, right? And now because I've seen you operate like the way you operate with me, what I realize is that you throw rocks at a hornet's nest and then you're like, why are all the bees chasing me? Like that's what you do. That's 100%.
It's
what
not
it
always
is.
that way.
It wa-
It's not
it was
always
like
that way.
That tweet of yours, he had a tweet breaking down something with the 49ers, and then at the very end, it was just like, and they're bad.
Right.
And like, I had to just like throw that in our group
It's
chat.
and they're not even good. Like, what are we doing here? Like, all right.
Like, it was
man.
great logic until the last line, which was just like, and they're bad.
Like you literally sit and throw rocks at a hornet's nest, and then when the bees come swarming around your face, you're like, "How did this happen? I don't understand." Like that's
It's not always that way, man. I just like barking and pumping my chest, man. It's just a good
And then-
nature.
I get it. I'm a yapper.
oh no, I
but
get it. But then you love to sort of act like, "Oh, they were fighting with me," and I'm like, "You."
I was just sitting here minding my business.
You know, my own business. And then somebody took a shot at me in my mentions. Like, no, man. Like, I don't believe that that's the case anymore. Like, I used to give you the benefit of the doubt. Now, like, I just like, no, I see how you operate with me. So I can only imagine how you operate with strangers on the internet. So that's all.
You're the
I don't know
best
if you've ever
49ers
started
fan
it
out of
once.
all of them.
Now
I've
that I
never
think-
started it once. Like I sit here and I'm just like, no. I try to play this down the middle because I understand we have to help people with their lineups. So like, yeah, people know I'm a 49er fan, but I don't sit here like somebody who mentioned on our show, I'm not going to name any names, about how they'll just throw out information to get people to draft other guys that they don't like. Like, like I can't imagine anybody on this show would do that. I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh my god.
Anyway, we're going to talk about our ride or die guys. Hopefully the ones that are listed here are the ones that people really believe are their ride or die guys. We'll take a
Yes,
break.
former 49er. Little sneak peek.
We'll take a break and come back with more on the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. All right, we're getting into our ride or dies, the guys that we really, 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 really like, that we are doing our bestest to make sure we come out of every draft with, provided somebody doesn't come and snipe our picks a couple of spots before we're ready to go. But it also is time to see who will deliver, presented by Uber Eats. So as we get into our ride or dies, we will start with the quarterbacks. They are the marquee names, the guys that score the most points, the guys that we are strategically angling to get. So for you, Laquan, I'm not surprised, but I'm going to let you say out loud, who is your ride or die at quarterback this year?
Mr. Bo Nix. So you best believe I was going to have him on the rundown. Like, I need to be even louder because folks are still disrespecting him in drafts, letting me get him where I'm getting him. But when we had that Cannon event last year, where we have Sean Payton and Bo Nix basically having that screaming match like they are a terrible marriage or whatever they had going on, he was literally a top
It's a
five.
Cannon event, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yes, it was a Cannon event, man. This is when things got together. This is when Bo Nix was like, hey, I am the top dog of this offense. Let me run it my way. And he was a top 5 fantasy quarterback from then on. I mean, look, we're talking about a guy that has the ability to average 20 fantasy points per game. We look at guys like Jaden Daniels, the Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, et cetera, guys that can reach those feats. And ever since that Cannon event in week 5, that's exactly who we saw. We saw the real Bo Nix. And I know Florio will appreciate this, but it's Nix tape season, baby. Let's go.
I do love that nickname. That's a very well done nickname.
I mean, it is, but also, like, doesn't it feel kind of like derivative?
Mellow.
Like he just, he just kind of stole it.
Wait until we get hoodie Nix. It's gonna be.
It is
When we
cold
get
in
hoodie
Denver.
Nix, there we go. When he throw that hoodie on, it's gonna be a problem. Watch.
All right. By the way, we didn't mention Tommy DeVito is a free agent again.
The Patriots picked him up today.
Oh, really? So
I'm riding with him. Where I will change my answer to Tommy DeVito
Please
because I'm
don't.
riding.
No, you won't.
I
Stop.
can't, but I will support Tommy DeVito. He could play. He's Patriots
But-
division rival. I'll root for him. I don't care.
Yeah, but what happens if he overtakes your boy Drake May?
Well, that's not gonna happen. Like, honestly, the Saints should have picked him up. He would be the best quarterback on the Saints
They're
roster.
locked in with Spencer Rattler, right? Like the Rattler. Like they should hand out rattles at Saints games, right? And just have people rattle them whenever
Oh,
Spencer
no.
Rattler does
for all 3 games.
for Because like you thought,
Stream the Cardinals defense week 1.
if you thought the vuvuzelas were annoying at that one World Cup in South Africa,
Oh, that was bad.
imagine like 50,000 people shaking rattles for
No,
like,
the
entire
opposing team
football.
would be like, I don't want to play
I don't
here.
want, like, I'm just annoyed. I can't be here anymore. Your ride or die quarterback. No surprise to anybody who's been listening to this podcast.
Yeah, you've probably heard me talk about this. I talked about him on Fantasy Live today. I'm talking about him now. My Dom Toretto at the quarterback position is Justin Fields. Why? Because he runs. And that, right? Like, that's why Josh Allen and Lamar are the top 2. Jaden is 3. Hurts is 4. We want running quarterbacks. After the top 5, I don't think anyone brings more upside than Justin Fields. We've seen him be a QB6 with the Bears. He was on pace to be a QB6 with the Steelers last year. He's one of 3 quarterbacks ever to run for 1,000 yards. He has the most rushing quarterback yards by a quarterback in a single game. I think we're going to get a tush push there, so he could run for 1,000 and double-digit touchdowns. And then I also think he's going to have a career year as a passer because of what Tanner Engstring is going to set up. Like the Lions had, very efficient, not asking him to air the ball out. So I love Justin Fields. And the thing is, I have him as my QB6. I don't draft him as the 6th quarterback because his ADP is closer to 12. So I'll take him something like QB9 or 10 and just keep getting that discount.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of folks love Fields. I think it's easy to sort of get him where he's going. So that is obviously a big plus there. And I do see the upside. We still don't know if he's a good real life quarterback. We know he's a good fantasy quarterback, and I think that's
Same thing with your
That's all
guy.
that matters.
yeah, my guy. We don't know if my guy's a good real life quarterback. We're still waiting to see if Patrick Mahomes can figure it out in the NFL. But he is a guy that I am targeting heavily in drafts because I do believe that this is the bounce back year. And honestly, this is the cheapest Mahomes has been probably since he became a starter. You know?
Yeah.
Like I was watching the Chiefs preseason game the other day, and just you wonder, you don't think about it, but when you hear it, that every year he's been a starter, the worst he has done is end in the AFC Championship game. Like 7 years
No,
as a starter.
I don't enjoy that run
7
at all.
AFC Championship games. I mean, I get it, but like it's just sort of mind-boggling.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And the last couple years, it hasn't been the Mahomes that we all, in fantasy fell in love with the big numbers, the 5,000 yards, the 40 touchdowns. Like that hasn't been there. I do believe this is the year they get back to that. Now, obviously, Marquise Brown, they need him to get healthy. Rashee Rice, once he gets off of suspension. But we've seen what they've been able to do with Xavier Worthy. Travis Kelce's still going to be involved in the offense. There's still a lot of pieces there, and I think that this is the year that Mahomes reminds us that he can still be an absolutely elite quarterback, both in real football and in fantasy football, and the fact that, he's still hanging around in, the 6th, 7th round, just outside that tier of elites. I'm willing to pay that price pretty much all day, anytime I get the opportunity.
In this one preseason game, over 10 air yards per attempt.
Yeah.
Which is huge. I mean, last year was like 6, so
Absolutely.
we just need more airing it out.
That's all. That's
He was
really all
moving
we
a
need.
lot in that pocket too. That boy might be running more.
Here's the thing, like that's the thing we don't really talk about. He runs enough to make it worthwhile. Like we know that the air yards, we know the passing yards he's going to get. We're never going to confuse him with Justin Fields or Jaden Daniels, but he'll get you a sneaky 400 rushing yards and a few rushing touchdowns.
We
in there.
hype up I'm not disrespecting Bo Nix here though, but like we hype up Bo
Yes,
Nix
you are.
or like Caleb Williams. Like they add value with their legs. Mahomes does as well, but
Yeah.
no one ever talks about that.
We don't talk about it.
Anybody that starts with, I don't want to disrespect or
No, because it sounds like
disrespect,
I'm
you're
being like, well, Bo
disrespecting.
Nix isn't, but Bo Nix ran for what, like 4 something, and Mahomes can
Yeah.
do that as well.
And by the way, if I remember right, Caleb Williams had more rushing yards than Bo Nix.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, those were running for your life yards. These weren't like I can really
They don't
do
get
this
they
and
don't
get
get
up
scored
field.
differently. Like they don't fall in a different category. Like they're running for your life yards, so they only count for half.
Trenches are
Like they,
fixed in Chicago. The trenches are fixed in Chicago, so he shouldn't have to be running for his life.
But
so
I mean,
those rushing yards should come back down
But
there.
I've also said that Caleb can run similar
Yeah.
to the way Mahomes. Like I've said that all the time, the whole
Yeah.
time. That like he can get out of the pocket and run when he needs to. So, by the way, you mentioned Dom Toretto. I saw a really good fantasy team name that's a Fast and Furious theme.
What?
Was it? You didn't have me. You didn't have Jamar.
Oh man, I think I'm getting Jamar Chase in my home league.
Just so you
I'm
get it.
stealing that name.
Why? Oh my God.
I don't know if
Fast
platform's
and
going to let you.
Furious,
That's a
man.
long name, though. Like, I don't know if any platform is going to let
It's
you.
gonna
put
be
the
like
whole-
... because it's too long.
You didn't have me. You didn't even have Jamar. There you go. That was Who Will Deliver, presented by Uber Eats. When football makes you hungry, get game day deals on Uber Eats, the official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Let's get to running backs real quick before the break. Laquan, your ride or die at running back.
We are riding and dying for my guy. I mean, look, I know the fantasy streets have this trend where it's like, well, last year I told you. No, in 2022, I told you about Jordan Mason. Now I'm telling you about him again in a Vikings uniform. Now there's going to be a co-pilot situation here, 1A, 1B, whatever the case may be with Aaron Jones, but it is Jordan Mason season. I'm telling you, when it starts to get cold outside, Aaron Jones, you know, he's up there in age. He had a career high in touches last season. It's going to be plug and play for Jordan Mason. This system just completely fits him. Now, when you look at how the Vikings run their run game, they ran the 8th highest outside zone scheme last season. And when you look at that yards per carry that Jordan Mason picked up over there in San Fran, 6.1 yards per carry in outside zone schemes and those runs. And that is bread and butter for my guy, Jordan Mason.
I know you. I mean, you're super hyped on him. Like, you've been like hyped on him for a while now. Yeah, I don't really
Since
have anything.
sliced bread,
I don't have
brother.
any pushback on it. I'm just like,
I've come around. I like Jordan Mason. I'm on board with him. The only thing I don't like is that him and Aaron Jones go back to back in ADP. Like, you have no chance of even pairing them together. Like, I want to handcuff. Like,
Yeah.
like it feels like we're like he's the first
Make a decision,
non-starter
Spider-Man.
running back drafted.
yeah, yeah. That I think that's sort of interesting because I feel like with that means either one is undervalued and one is overvalued. I don't know which one yet.
So like he's going in the 7th round. Before then, I think most rosters you should have 2 running backs there. Him as my RB3, where I have no desire to star him immediately. That is bread and butter when he starts taking up, those touches over Aaron Jones in the middle or late season. Like, I'm thinking playoffs. Like, that's all I'm thinking about. Like, Jordan Mason is one of those guys that we've seen last year be a workhorse and just completely dominate with his opportunities.
I always have a hard time drafting a guy being like, I'm thinking playoffs. Like, I get it, but also like I got to make the playoffs before I can start thinking about guys I want to start in the playoffs.
And
You won't make
if
playoffs,
Aaron
you
Jones
gotta
is
go
healthy,
Mason.
he's
That's
never
the thing.
going away.
He's never going away.
He needs to get hurt. He
Right.
could lose. I think they could lose touches, and Mason, like, they could be 50-50 on the ground with Jones getting the air work, but I don't think Jones completely goes away.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the thing about Aaron Jones. He's good.
I mean, that's my cousin. I ain't trying to, push him out the way. No, he's not really
cousin
my
Aaron
cousin.
Jones. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
You should have a
Play
team where you
cousin.
only draft Joneses. Like,
You
Daniel
should,
Jones is your
absolutely.
quarterback.
Daniel, yes.
Matt
I've
Jones is your
actually-
backup.
Aaron Jones. How many Joneses are running
That's
backs?
a tough
ID
team,
Keely,
brother.
you get Chris Jones.
Yeah, like I don't
Who
even.
people think you look like.
My
I don't even know-
doppelganger.
I
Yeah.
don't even know if there's enough like wide receiver Jones. Like, you'd still have to draft like Marvin Jones, who hadn't been in the league in a couple of years.
Jacoby Jones, bring him out of retirement. Let's
Right?
go.
Like I think wide receiver is where you'd have a tough time with that.
It's rough all around.
All right, Florida, who's your ride or die running back?
So I know I said like Justin Fields would actually be like my Letty, I guess,
Okay.
and my Dom Toretto this year. I wish I still had it. Travion Henderson, no matter what. Like I held up a sign that said that on Fantasy Live today. I left it down there, but I'm all about, like, I was saying I hate how hyped he's gotten because it's making me draft him at where I'm willing to still draft him. Like, I took him in a league on the 2-3 turn ahead of James Cook like 2 weeks ago. I'm fine taking him in that range. I wish I didn't have to, though, because I have him on a bunch of teams. Like, he's on my Scott Fishbowl team. He's on all of these teams that drafted in like July and early August before the preseason. I was taking him in the 7th, 8th round. Then it became the 6th, the 5th, the 4th, and I just kept paying the price because I think he's an RB1. I think he has every single tool that you want in a running back for fantasy purposes. I was telling you in before the NFL draft that I think he's better than Omarion Hampton. We'll see if I'm right on that, but I still stand by that. Like, there's no player I want more at cost than Travion Henderson.
Well, now apparently Adam Rank has thrown down the gauntlet to you for the NFL.
No
Fantasy
disrespect to
Live
Rank.
draft.
He's getting on board a little late, you know?
So 'cause I mentioned earlier in the week on Fantasy Live that you were driving the hype train for Travion Henderson, and Rank says he's laid a claim to it. I was like, well, Florio drafted him in a 3rd round. Florio's like, well, or Rank said, I've also drafted him in a 3rd round. So now he's telling you that you have to take.
We we
You're thinking
did
with the 1-2 turn.
yeah,
right.
because we play. The segment is like, how high will you go on a player? And I got to round 3, and he backed off, and I was like, I would have kept it going. Like I would have been like 101.
This is a
'cause
sick
I
man.
I was like, I'm not back. And then Rank was like, I was at the hospital when he was born. Like we had a lot of fun. I think you should check out the segment. But yeah, I have no problem with people being on board with Travion Henderson. I wish it happened in like week 3 of the season, and I had him for like 7th round already.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
The fantasy streets prevented that from happening. I've been on DeAndre Swift
Strike
all off season.
I agree with this one too.
And
Let's
I'm
go.
not changing my mind on that. We saw last year in an offense that was still trying to figure itself out that he had maybe a career year, one of his best seasons certainly in the NFL, both as a rusher and getting the ball as a pass catcher. I don't think having Ben Johnson at the sticks is going to change any of that. I think he's going to get plenty more opportunity in an offense that, look, the Bears will have their growing pains early. They were up and down during the preseason, without a doubt. But I think they're going to figure it out as the season goes along. On top of it, there's just no real backfield competition for DeAndre Swift. I think the Rashawn Johnson experiment is pretty much coming to an end. I just don't see anybody else that's going to go in there and take any real opportunities from Swift. So the fact that he's still hanging around kind of in that 4th, 5th round area, being drafted, he's being drafted kind of as a high-end running back 2, but I think the ceiling is a kind of a low-end running back 1 situation for him. I'm in on DeAndre Swift. As I was frustrated. This CBS draft, I had him all queued up. I think it was Jamie Eisenberg or it was Heath Cummings. Maybe I can't remember.
I know Heath likes him a lot.
Took him a pick or 2 before I.
Another
had a chance
player
to-
though that like 2 months ago, like I know we on this show, I think we all like him, but like 2 months ago or a month ago, like Swift wasn't going this early.
No.
Like he's been a big ADP climber in the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely been a big riser the last couple of weeks.
People think that Ben Johnson hate him. I don't know where that came from at all. And like he just
Because
spoke about
you know
it
where came
yesterday,
from?
saying
Because
he's
he
the
chose
spark.
Jahmyr Gibbs over him.
Okay.
Like I would
I
take
mean, I
Jahmyr Gibbs
would
over
too.
any running back, maybe besides Bajan. Like
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is the time of year where people start reading into things that aren't necessarily there just because the content machine demands grist for the mill. Like it grinds us to death and we have to keep coming up with stuff. And so that's
You
the
know
stuff
what?
people comes up with.
shout out to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce because they gave the world something to talk football wise to talk about besides having to throw out ridiculous takes with no football being on this week and like everyone having fatigue to get to the season. So shout out to the Swifts.
I guess so, man. Swift, Taylor, DeAndre, all of them, all the Swifts.
DeAndre, all the Swifts.
All the
yeah.
Swifts.
I'm not a fan of this, but I'll keep my thoughts to myself.
You better
don't want the
because
Swifties.
you don't want you might be able to handle 49er fans.
Right, but like the Swifties, that's
Swifties.
a whole different thing.
They're going to be at your house tonight.
You don't want them in your
Yeah.
mentions.
I'm good. I played with the Beehive before with Beyonce, in
Yeah.
the early days of Twitter, and that was a big mistake.
Here's a rule of thumb. This is the rule that I live by on social media. If your fan base has a nickname, you do not talk about that person.
Rihanna,
Beehive,
the Navy Army,
the Swifties, the Navy, I don't know if the Katy Cats
Like
are
the
still a
US
big
Navy?
thing. The Rihanna Navy.
Oh,
The Rihanna Navy.
I didn't know that was her fan base.
Oh yeah, the Navy is
Go
real.
ahead, say something. I dare
No,
you.
I like Rihanna. I didn't know that was her fan base's name. Though.
like,
I just thought you
Nah,
were
go ahead.
Find
Find out.
like,
Let's run and find
if your
out.
fan base has a nickname, just don't, good or bad, because like somebody will misinterpret it and your mentions are a wreck. Just don't do it.
The Barbs. We
The
saw
Barbs.
what
I was
happened to Des
trying to
Bryant.
think of Nicki Minaj as the Barbs.
Yeah.
That's right.
Des got ate up.
We're gonna take a break where Laquan will tell us his real thoughts about the Swift Kelsey union. Then we'll come back with some more Ride or Dies next on the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. So now that we told Laquan where the Swifts and Kelseys are registered for their wedding, we can get back to the rest of our Ride or Dies here. We'll dive into wide receivers. Laquan, who's your Ride or Die at wideout this year?
Now, this was my ride or die last season where I was saying this guy has top 5 potential. It is Drake freaking London, man. And you got to say the name like that because every Sunday, that's what you're going to be saying. Like, God, why didn't I draft this guy? He's putting 30 on my head right now as my opponent is just sitting there happy to have him. So I've been drafting a lot of Drake London. He's my top exposure player just based on Michael Penix and what he brings to this offense. Now, we know they've been flirting with his athleticism. I said it before with Zach Robinson, him getting sideline to sideline. line, moving in and out of that pocket. But more importantly, last season, those 3 games from week 16 to 18, he led all quarterbacks in air yards. Obviously, there is a need and want to air the ball out to Drake London. I've spoken before of how his yards per reception increased from 11 yards to 16 yards. Now imagine that on a full 17 game pace, man. I'm telling you, Drake London has potential to crack that top 5, and it's going to be from out of nowhere where he's going in the early second round. It's really crazy.
I don't know if it's out of nowhere. And I do agree that he has the potential to crack the top 5. I totally do.
Wait, Marcus, am I doing it right?
I don't know.
Am I doing it right?
A little bit. It's
Right
like
on?
too much wrist. It's more like it's more elbow, you know? Yeah, like there you go. More like that. There you go. Good job.
I like this better.
Looks like a bunny rabbit hopping. Like, what are you doing? The one thing that I'm not going to say about Drake London this year, because we've said it too many years in a row about the Falcons, is the quarterback play's got to be better, right? Like, we keep saying that, and then we keep being disappointed. So while I hope that Michael Penix is better than what we've seen, I'm tired of throwing that out there as a reason for Drake London. But I think target share, I think ability, I think all those things factor
He's
into,
great. We know he's got all the talent.
Yes.
They just
100 air yards per game. That's what he had with Penix in those 3 games, man. That's all I need to hear and all I need to know.
Well, if that's the case, then why don't you like Chris Olave? Why is he in the satchel of discontent?
He is forever going to live there. Availability is your best ability.
But he was captain air yards for years.
Captain air yards, captain mid as well. We're good to go. He is not going to be on any of my
pause
rosters.
I get with Drake May, and I like Drake May. I have him in my top 10. But
London.
like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Drake London what I said this like 2 months ago. Like, what if Michael Penix just isn't the guy?
Isn't that dude?
Like, and I know he's gonna air the ball out a lot, but like defenses know that as well. And like it's a lot easier to game plan when you have a full summer to game plan for someone than when.
But you got a running back named Bijan Robinson, though. Them safeties are going to be pulled back because of the vertical attack, but then that just leaves Bijan to go crazy. You're not going to want Bijan going crazy, so you're going to have to pull them forward. Like, there's a lot of cat and mouse they're going to have to play with this offense. Like, I'm heavily invested in this Falcons offense just based on, Bijan. I'm sorry. I keep doing that. Why do I keep doing it? It's so hard to get used to. But Bijan is obviously my one-on-one. But then I'm investing in a Darnell Mooney as well. That's like sneaky right now, getting back
I have
healthy.
a lot of Mooney because he's so cheap right now.
Yeah, super.
Again,
it's like people forgot he's on the team.
Again,
He hasn't played all preseason.
I'm still not understanding why, like, everything you said about Drake London and the Falcons offense, like, it could have translated to the Saints the last couple of years, right? Because Alvin Kamara was a dude you didn't want him going crazy on you, right? If you're pulling your safeties back, at least, like, I get it this year. Like, totally, I understand this year why you're not in on the Saints. Like, I just don't understand why, like, all the things that apply to Drake London didn't apply to Chris Olave before. I'm just
because Chris Olave was going in the first round with Garrett Wilson, and then people were burned. I think Drake London was the guy that was just going like way after those guys. Now we need to start putting respect on his name and draft him as such.
Pick.
Yeah, it's just still an early second round pick.
I took him at the 111 a lot of drafts because I didn't want to take that risk. Yeah.
So, all right.
I'm willing to go before Brian Thomas. I mean, I'm willing to reach up.
I have him ahead of him.
I'm just
as
stress
well.
testing your theories. That's all. I'm just trying to do that.
No, we ain't messing with New Orleans.
No, I get it. I totally understand. We're not messing with the Saints this year. Flory, if I recall correctly, your ride or die wide receiver this year is the same as it might have been last year. Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
I love Malik Neighbors. I always have. I remember last season in March when everyone was calling me a hot take artist and a clickbait artist because I had him ranked ahead of Marvin Harrison Jr. as a prospect. The reason I did that is because there's not a thing he cannot do on the football field. Like, he could win downfield. We didn't see that last year. That was a Giants quarterback problem. That wasn't a Malik Neighbors problem. He could win after the catch. He's an elite route runner, elite hands, great in the red and end zone. Like, again, he had a better rookie season than Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson did. And he did it with I almost called him Danny DeVito. Danny Dimes, Tommy DeVito, Drew Lock, and Tim Boyle. He's got 3 quarterbacks on his roster now that are better than anyone they had last year. I have him ranked as my wide receiver 4, but I think he could finish this year as the wide receiver 1 if touchdown variance goes his way. He is my pick to be the offensive player of the year and to lead the league in receiving yards.
I mean, the Giants probably were one injury away from starting Danny DeVito at quarterback.
Honestly, I'd watch that episode of Like It's Always Sunny.
Oh my God, that'd be an amazing episode of Sunny if
Big jersey.
if Frank Reynolds was playing quarterback for the New York Giants. That'd be amazing. Mine's a guy I've been talking about all summer long. That's Jameson Williams. I think this is the last year I thought was kind of a breakout season. I think this is the year he truly makes the leap. We see how explosive he is. We see all the things he can do. I like that John Morton is trying to open up the route tree for him and do more things with him and get the ball in his hands as much as possible. I've been saying I think he leads the Lions in receiving yards, maybe not receptions, but receiving yards. I think he can lead them in. And the fact that he's still kind of a 6th round pick, I think is a big bargain for a lot of folks. So, I'm still in on the Lions offense. Maybe it's not quite as explosive as it was with Ben Johnson, but I still think it's going to be very good. And I still think Jameson Williams is going to be a key part of it this year.
And we're going to get more downfield throwing because there's no way we can't. The Lions have been bottom 2 in deep pass attempts every year. So
yeah,
I heard that Tesla stock is going up as well.
I'm with you on J-Mo, though. I want as much J-Mo as I could get.
Here's the thing about Isaac Tesla. Like I know that they love him, and like everything I read about him has been super positive. There's just so much competition for him to get targets, right?
He's probably 5th at best.
Because, it's going to be, Amon Ra.
5th? Wait, hold up.
So you got Amon Ra. Think about it. Amon Ra. Amon Ra, J-Mo, Laporta, Gibbs.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got Laporta a little bit lower.
You're lower than Tesla?
You think a rookie?
Yeah.
You think I think Tesla's going to get more targets than Sam Laporta?
John Morton that has no loyalty to Sam Laporta, and there has been nothing reported this entire summer. He's good.
He's good.
But look at the competition. So is Tesla. I mean, come on now. We saw the preseason. He could not stop scoring.
Yeah, one is going to be a wide receiver 3, and the other is your tight end.
Tight end.
Who's got 900 yards and double-digit touchdowns under his belt.
I'm not in on Laporta. That's basically what
I'm not either at cost, but he's going to be targeting more than Tesla.
Than Tesla. I mean, right now, the biggest thing they hear about Tesla is he's a great blocker and he's really tough. That's cool. It's going to help him get on the field. I don't.
This year, Puka Nacua could be in Detroit. That's all I'm going to say.
This is where I think preseason gets to I get it. He was a great preseason player. He had a couple of nice catches. He could be a great dynasty pick and stuff. He's not going to outproduce Sam Laporta. That's my thinking, at least.
No, I'm with you. That does get us to tight ends, fittingly enough.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Laquan, this was not a name I was expecting to see. Is your ride or die tight end this year?
I have to be honest. I was heavily influenced by Isaiah Stanback because every day in the green room for Good Morning Football, fantasy comes up, obviously with Manti, and Jake Ferguson name just keeps popping up. And I'm starting to come around to it where I've taken him in my recent drafts these last 2 weeks as my tight end 1. He's going way later than rest of the other tight ends that we coin and champion, but he's made sense to me of where you're going to have to make a business decision on George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. That just leaves the middle of the field wide open. When you have Brian Schottenheimer calling the shots again, and the last time he did that was 2023, where this offense was raving as top 5 in all major categories. When you look at 2023, Jake Ferguson led all tight ends in red zone targets. The touchdowns is exactly where I want to be. He had 23 red zone targets, 23. And I'm looking at this as wow, these safeties in cover 2, they're going to have to worry about the middle of the field now because Jake Ferguson's going to be lighting it up most weeks, where you're going to have Jake Ferguson healthy, of course, where I do think that he's going to be a tight end that we're just going to not really just have on our radars. And then we're going to look, it's week 4 or 5. And we're like, yo, why is this guy at the top of the boards?
I need some more air yards out of Jake Ferguson. That's all. 86 targets turned into 494 yards. I need some more
relax, man.
And he had the same number of touchdowns as all 3 of us combined.
Dog, I know you're not talking about last season. It was a train wreck last year under McCarthy. I mean, look, how I look at last year, it was a wash. That
Dak got hurt. I get that.
I guess I'm going to get that, but I'm not sold that Brian Schottenheimer is going to be some new magic potion to unlock this offense.
I mean, he was the OC last year, so like
He was the OC
And-
last
and-
year, and like literally, it was like
But-
Jerry Jones was looking for a new head coach. He just poked his head out of his office, and like pointed at the first person he saw.
But Shoddy was
Brian.
the play caller in 2023, though. That was the last time he was actually calling the shots. And then Mike McCarthy, his last year, he's going to go down with the ship. Very selfish, you know. If you're going to go down on the sword, you're going to go down my way. And that's why that offense looked the way it looked in 2024.
I like Jake Ferguson as a tight end 2. Like I have him ranked as a tight end 1, but I don't want to leave my draft with him as my tight end 1. If that makes sense.
That's the thing. Like I don't feel comfortable with him as a tight end 1.
But
But you also said, Laquan, you're like down to just like wait and figure it
Yeah.
out in the
you
back
know
half.
Figure
what
it
I
out.
love? Low key, like at like 2 a.m, me and you were sleeping. Laquan's over here talking Jake Ferguson, getting ready for
Right?
his fantasy draft.
Exactly. You're up there on GMFB, like you should call it like GMFFB, Good Morning Fantasy Football. Like that's what it should be.
There you go. Hey, Mike got something there. Let's go.
I shouldn't have said that out loud because now they're going to make us get up at like 3:00 in the morning to do this.
Yes,
show.
let's go. Join the
won't.
graveyard shift.
I mean, as long as I can do it from my house, they don't care if I don't look pretty. That's fine. Then we can do it.
I'm willing to do it.
GMFB.
They're not gonna ask.
They're not going to ask us. There's no way they're going to ask us.
You could go first here because I kind of stole your answer.
Oh.
You had it down first.
This is the part of the show where we talk about Tyler Warren
let's go.
because we haven't talked about
I
Tyler
almost did
Warren
it.
enough this offseason.
I literally almost did it.
This is a part of
Straight clean
you
sweep.
should have just done this. We just make a clean sweep of Tyler Warren, like all the way down on our ride or die tight ends. I will admit that some of it is watching him do everything but kick extra points against USC last year. But also just you look at the body of work he had and what he did at Penn State, and it was absolutely incredible. They could line him up pretty much anywhere. He seemed to be able to run most any route they would throw him the ball. He was able to, make contested catches. He was good after the catch. He did a lot of things. And I know that sometimes we can overvalue what we see in the preseason, but the one thing I noticed when I watched the Colts is that when he was on the field, they were throwing him the football. He was out there, he was running routes, they were throwing him the ball. Maybe they do use him occasionally as an inline blocker, but it just seemed like for the most part, the role for Tyler Warren is you go out there, you run routes, you get open, we're going to throw you the football. And because Danny check down dimes is going to be the quarterback, at least for the time being, short, quick throws seem to favor having the tight end in the middle of the field. I just, as much as I can get Tyler Warren, I'm happy to do it.
Same. And just like Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, statistically, at his best, targeting the middle of the field. That's going to be Tyler Warren's area to run. I said on Monday that I was thinking about moving Tyler Warren up into my top 5.
Did you do it?
He's my tight end 4. I put him ahead of Laporta,
Whoa.
who we just discussed, and then Hawkinson because I do think the Thielen trade. My thinking with Hawkinson was he has a runway to become the number 2 target. Now there's target competition starting week 1, and then once Addison is back, there's a lot of competition there. First time quarterback, all of that. I still like Hawkinson, but I took him Warren over Hawkinson the other day in a draft, and I thought about it a lot, and I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I would do that every time, so I need to change the ranks.
All right.
And so tight end 4 after the big 3.
So this has gone from being the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast to an episode of Hot Ones. We just got spice all over the place.
I think that's going to be, it's not consensus.
No.
But like more and more people are moving him up and up and up. Like I get it if you want like a Ingram or a Andrews, but I think no one has more upside.
I don't want
there
either of
than
those
Warren.
guys. I want Warren.
And you compare him with Ferguson as like your 2. Like I'm usually taking a tight end 2 just in case, but I believe in Tyler Warren. Like I have Kings Classic. He's my only tight end on my roster, and that's a 14-team league.
yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm in. I'm all in. Now I'm afraid. I don't want him to become Dalton Kincaid, but
Oh, why would you say that?
Oh,
no,
Marcus
He's
with
Brock
the
Bowers. He's
elbow.
Sam Laporta.
there you go.
That's who he is.
No, if it's an elbow, it's an elbow to myself because I was huge on Kincaid. Like,
I don't take it personally. I know what Kincaid is.
I'm elbowing myself because like that's the way I feel about Warren is how I felt about Kincaid. So like shots fired on
I will
me,
say I'm
I
a
guess.
little bit in on Kincaid at a like tight end 14.
No, you're not.
place.
Well,
Stop.
where he is at ADP,
Don't do
why
it.
not?
Yeah, if he was going tight end 7 again, like I'd be like, nah, no way. am I
Kyle
doing
Pitts
it.
or Dalton Kincaid?
Kincaid, because he's tied to a
Really?
better quarterback. That's the
Yeah,
only
that is
reason.
true.
I think I'm gonna say Kyle.
Is Dawson
Pitts.
Knox still around? Is he still
He's
heading
still
one?
Dawson Knox.
All right.
Yeah,
there
Dawson
you go.
Knox is still hanging around.
No, I think he just legitimately didn't hear you.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was just trying to talk him down.
I was about to say, damn, it's like that.
No, I like Dawson Knox. He's a cool guy. He's on his last year of his contract too, though. So I think they're looking ahead. Kincaid's going to take over. I think.
I heard he's acting now too, so he has
Kincaid
things
or
planned.
Kincaid or Knox?
Dawson Knox, yeah.
The Dawson. Huh?
Who's he going to get engaged to?
I mean,
if he's going the
boy.
acting route.
Josh Allen already married an actress. Travis is marrying the biggest pop star in the world, and so Dawson Knox got to get in on that.
He's going to get like, I don't know. I was going to think of like a C-list actress, but no one came to mind.
Well, yeah, because
Because they're C-list.
If you have a Rolodex of C-list actresses in your head, then
Some
you're-
woman from like a Hallmark movie or something like that. Like,
Probably. Who knows? One last thing before we get out of here. I threw this in the rundown just for S's and G's, as Adam Rank would say. Always, this time of year where leagues are getting together, they're maybe coming up with rule changes and this sort of thing. So it made me think, what rules would you like to see implemented or changed in fantasy football? Laquan, I don't know if you have you feel like somebody who would have a list of things, like you just pull out like a CVS receipt long list of rules that you would like
gets
changed.
extra bonus points per touchdown.
As a former commissioner for my, home league with my homies from high school, I was pulling out the CVS list and trying to convince them. But in the leagues that I'm still strapped to DST for the defenses, I do think we should get points for turnovers on downs. Like it should be like
I agree
as
with
much
that.
as 4 points. Like at least, like that is a huge feat for the defense to turn the ball over on downs. Like there should be some type of point system for that.
I agree with
I like that. No, I do like that. I like that. That being said, I mean, I guess you couldn't call it a turnover for the offense because there's no one specific person that you give it to, but the defense can get points for
It
that.
should just be like an interception and fumble recovery is 2. That should also be 2.
Turnover and
like
down
it's
should be
the
2
same
points.
thing.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. I got no problem with that. Anything you'd like to change, Florio?
I have 2 that came to mind. One, I think wide receiver, any position, but the receiver should get a point or 2 points or whatever if they draw a pass interference. Like that is a game-changing penalty you could draw potentially. And in fantasy, we're just like, all right, well, I guess that doesn't mean anything for us. The other thing is, look, I know people like kickers. I know you are a supporter of kickers, Marcus.
Boo.
Most leagues, kickers are the only position that cannot lose points. I think kickers should lose points for missed kicks.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
cap. I feel like I've played in leagues.
I
with
think
that.
there's some. It's not the norm though,
Right.
But like, I think it should be inverted, right? Like, if you miss a 50-yarder, say that's -3. If you miss a 30-yarder, that's -5 because like,
You got to join my home league, sir. It's
like, I've
-4. You
played-
missed that 50-yarder.
Yeah, no, I played in leagues where you can lose points for missed kicks. Although I think the leagues I've played in, like if you miss it used to be if you missed a 50-yarder, it was 0 points or whatever, because that was when 50-yarders were rare. But like now everybody kicks 50.
yeah, like that should be the lowest
like-
negative. But like, I play like you hear about people in leagues, right? Where they're like, I'm up 2 points and I have a defense. Do I sit them? You never hear that about kickers because in most leagues they can't lose points.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely the case. That
A miss extra point, -10.
Yeah, if you miss an extra point like that,
Bruh,
that should be,
I'm not playing. Get them out of the league.
that should be nearly
heck
that should be
no.
nearly apocalyptic if you miss an extra point, like it should be. I still truly believe and always will believe that pick sixes should be -6 for your quarterback.
I'm on board with that. I never thought of that, but I like
That
that.
if your quarterback throws an interception that leads directly to a touchdown, that should, you should. I
Jameis
think almost make it
Winston is
-8 because it should be -2 for the interception
Yes.
and then 6 points for the touchdown. So that
And
should be, as pick six should be -8 points.
if you're in the quarterback's
No.
in his red zone and it happens and it's like a 90-yard -10 or something like that,
yeah,
like,
like-
that's a
Bro,
game
don't even
changing
start a
play,
quarterback.
What do you mean don't even start a
No.
quarterback? Just start a quarterback.
That's
like, don't
OD.
start Matt Schaub. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't start guys who throw pick sixes a lot. Like, because it's a catastrophic play for your real team. It should be a catastrophic play for your fantasy team.
Look, we're a Jameis Winston pod. I don't want to do the obvious joke here, but that would be insane. He goes out there
Well, here's the
and
thing,
throws
though.
up a -10. Jeez.
But I
Maybe
think
not
that's
10,
here's
but
the
you know,
thing,
you find a big number.
Jameis is what radicalized me against current quarterback scoring, because the year that he went 30 for 30, he still was a top 5 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah,
and like that
he
just
was.
should not be. It shouldn't. That's why I think we should have escalators too, right? If you throw more, like, your first 2 touchdown passes are 4 points or 6 points, whatever your normal scoring is, right? But if you throw a third, then that should be 1 point more. If you throw a fourth, it should be like, you should do that. It should escalate. Similar with interceptions. Your first 2 picks, I'm willing to give you -2. If you throw a third, that's -3. If you throw a 4, that's -4. Like, if you have a 4 interception game in real football, your team is probably losing. If you have a 4 interception game in fantasy, you're just like, whatever. If he throws 3 touchdowns, like I wipe it off. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like it should match what's happening on the field. Or if your quarterback throws 4 interceptions, it should be harder for you to win your fantasy matchup.
The whole time you're talking there, I agree, and I'm like, rushing quarterback numbers probably shouldn't be as valuable as they are. Like, because that makes Justin Fields better than, and I love Justin Fields for fantasy, but he's not better than most of the quarterbacks that we take him over.
Like if we're going to do tight end premiums, right, where tight ends get like 1.5 points per reception, like we can make it so that quarterbacks, like you need 20 yards to get a point for rushing or something.
Like you can make it total yards, and like you get 20 for every 25 total yards, you get a point.
Yeah.
So like if you throw for 300, you run for 100, that's 400 total yards right there.
Like I think we should actually make it so that quarterbacks hold the value in fantasy that they hold in real life. I really do keep saying that if we think, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, whomever is the best quarterback in the league, you shouldn't be looked at sideways when you take one of those guys early. It just doesn't make sense. Like we think Ja'Marr Chase is the best wide receiver in the league. You take him at number 1. Everybody's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. That makes sense.
If we had scoring like that, who scores more points, Brock Purdy or Matthew Stafford?
Probably
Hey,
Stafford
what is
still.
up with you, bro? Don't put
I was just gonna walk right out of that.
He was just like, he literally pushed the mic away from his face and was getting ready to leave.
Come
That's my
on,
exit.
bro.
He was really getting ready to leave.
out.
Actually, Purdy might, because
No, don't even think about it. Stop.
It worked.
It's Stafford.
See ya.
It's Stafford, bro. Stop. Don't even think about it.
it's like you insulted his whole family when you said that.
Who do you
don't
have
be coming
ranked
for my
higher?
Rams, bro.
It's
Who do you have ranked
brought
higher?
dishonor on his family?
Stafford. What are you talking about? It's Stafford. Like, I'm dead serious. You see who's on the perimeter? Like, it's Stafford, bro.
If he wouldn't get this upset if you said something about his son.
I probably agree.
About his
And actually, I
actual
had to
son,
run
like
this
he wouldn't get
morning
this
to
upset.
his school because he left his homework on the table that I told him put in his book bag last night.
Matthew
So,
Stafford
yeah, I'm
would
a little
never
angry
do
at
that.
him. No, he would never do that. He would never do that.
All right. Let's take a break. Let's wrap this up so Laquan can go take a
Yeah.
deep breath and get some water and touch grass for a minute because I think that will help him in all facets. Back with you tomorrow. We will have some bold predictions, maybe some hot takes as we get you ready. Just looking ahead, we are off on Monday because it's Labor Day, but we'll be back starting video shows next week. So a couple times a week, we'll be actually doing not live, but video shows that you can see on your fast channels. You can see them on the YouTubes, I believe they will be. They don't tell me where they air. I just go digging around and I find them
Everywhere.
occasionally. So
Laquan's Barber everywhere.
yeah, man, Laquan's barber was holding us down during the
Facts.
cheat sheet. So shout out to the barbers, man, for sure. In the meantime,
Old Town head. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Were you giving a shout out to your barber?
Old Town Razor Sharps. Shout out to them, man.
All right, man. The
It's
hairline
in Torrance.
looks crisp. It's crispy. like
I just got it cut yesterday.
Like a fresh bag of Ruffles, just crispy. That'll do it for this edition of the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. Stay happy, safe, and healthy. Do good and live well. Enjoy the day, everybody. Talk to you again tomorrow.